Yeah, I'm a little sore still, but gotten a lot better over the last few days. I was happy to have Sunday off, that's for sure. So that was nice. But, yeah, I'm starting to feel better and look forward to this weekend.
You try to move ahead and not, I mean, a lot of people are asking questions about it, but do you try to kind of, let's just move ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been that person to just kind of move forward and just, what's next, and I hate answering questions about the past, so, because it's done. But, but it was, like I said, I tried to rest up as much as I could, Sunday, Monday, and I think that definitely helped going forward.
After Nashville, you said you had some concussion-type symptoms and stuff. Did you have anything like that after this one, or did you feel better?
I felt better after this one. I think some of the circumstances involved in it helped. My body felt more sore after this one than my head, so that was good. I think the front clip updates were definitely helped me. Obviously, hitting a safer barrier wall was positive, but I think the front clip updates were huge. I feel like if those weren't in and we wrecked at Daytona, I feel like it would have been a lot worse for sure. So it's good to see that it helped out a little bit and crushed more, so that's good. But yeah.
Were the G's more in the wreck at Daytona than Nashville?
Yeah, they were way more.
Yeah, can you give us a number?
I don't know if I can tell. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but they were way higher.
Yeah, how was it? Can you say what's the most your highest, biggest G hit?
By far.
In Daytona.
By far.
So NASCAR looks at the car. Do they talk to you and get a lot of feedback from you as to how you feel after, not just the car, the crush panels, all of that?
Yeah, I actually talked to them yesterday. I had a call with John Padalecki, some folks from Wake Forest with the Mouthpiece data. There's another guy on there too, I can't remember. But we went over a lot of that stuff, kind of that data, the car data, what they were happy with, what they like to still see worked on, kind of my in-car stuff of, if there's anything we could change. I was very happy with how kind of I was inside the car. I don't really know what to do different. There's a couple things we talked about, but no, they were always open with that. They want to hear our feedback, and I want to hear what they think. Okay, are you guys happy with this? Like, what did you like? What did you not like when you saw this stuff? When you got the car back, and what do you think of for the future? I'm always curious about that stuff. So, and I'm always very open to give my feedback. Right? I mean, that's what our feedback to NASCAR, what it feels like and where we think we can improve. It's important for them to try, to go forward to the future. So I think it's when you have something like that, it's kind of part of your job, I think, to be as helpful as you can, talking to NASCAR about where to go.
Did your head hit the steering wheel?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I stopped before it.
Yeah, look,
it was close. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think I did.
Did you? They say that the important part is that your whole body moves forward and not just your head. In that situation, did you feel like, that restraints worked the way they were?
Well, I mean, you don't want your body to move forward. It's like a balancing act, right? It's like, how do you balance your body being strapped in compared to how far your head moves before the Hans clips stop it? But even when the Hans clips stop your helmet, your head is still going to move in the helmet, and your brain moves as well. So how do you balance out like that rapid, spike, right? That's what they always talk about, is the spike in load. That's bad, right? You try to flatten that curve as much as you can. And I think it's gotten better. But yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do. And I try to look at those things as, all right, what worked well, in that accident, and why am sitting here today. So that's the stuff I look for.
We're the Mouthpiece. Is that something that you ever question whether you should do, and just how much more info are you getting from that than you would have?
I've worn it most of the year. Worked with Wake Forest on getting that thing fitting good to where it's comfortable for me to wear it all race. And it is helpful, wearing that thing. I didn't have it in at Nashville, but I did at Daytona, and it was talking to Padalecki and all those guys at Wake Forest. They're like, the data they get off of that stuff is huge, right? Of actually what we go through in a hit like that. They have the car data, but then what we're feeling is it's big for them too. So it's important for that Mouthpiece, I think, for their research.
Did you have soreness from the straps? Is that what did that?
right side of my chest was pretty sore for a couple days. Neck, back stuff was pretty sore. I didn't bruise from the straps. I don't bruise very easy, but I did have a lot of soreness down this side. But yeah, nothing too severe.
500 miles going to be rough on you?
No, it'll be fine. It'll be all good.
What's the worst, your impact or Priest's rolls?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he felt. That's difficult to judge. That was violent what he went through. I'm happy he's okay. Watching that, I've never seen anything like that since the 90s. So happy he was able to get out of that thing and get released from the hospital. But yeah, I'm not sure. Neither. I don't want either. So.
Well, a lot of drivers said yours was worse to them than the flip that dissipated. It went over and over, but a lot of drivers said it was yours that looked worse.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's to each his own. You never know how things feel to that person, right? So I can't talk of Ryan's hit, Priest's hit. So I just know they probably both didn't feel very good.
Yeah.
What led you to use the mouthpiece? Because I know that not everybody has to or is using it. I know sometimes there's a comfort factor as well.
Yeah, it's not like required, but it's encouraged. And I was kind of reluctant at first to do it because it didn't feel good, right? It's like, you're wearing a retainer for 500 miles and it kind of can be uncomfortable. But I worked with Wake Forest a lot on like, okay, how do we get it to where it can be comfortable that I can wear this thing for 500 miles? And they did a good job of working on it to where it feels all right to me. And I think it's, like I said, I was on the side of like, I don't need to wear that. It's uncomfortable, but I think it's important to wear, just trying to learn about what we go through if we're in impacts, right? And that helps and gives them data for the future. So once it got comfortable for me to wear, I'm fine with doing it.
So did you want to get any of the data from your crash, or do you like, hey, I don't need it?
Yeah, I saw all of it.
So
They sent it all to me.
Does it make sense, or does it show you anything that surprised you?
When I talked, I had a call NASCAR. I called John Padallac. A couple people from Wake Forest were on the phone with me yesterday, kind of going through all the data, because I needed someone to dumb it down for me. All that stuff is pretty. I don't know what I'm looking at, and so they did a great job of explaining it to me, and that's good to see, and it's fascinating to just kind of see all what happens in these split seconds, right? It's pretty wild. So and then. Okay, what's on this graph, and then how do they want to improve it? Like, what's the optimal like line that they want to get to? It's decreasing the spike, right? It's trying to flatten the curve of these incidents. So it was really helpful talking to those guys.
So is there anything that you can do, or is it just like, hey, you guys are the smart ones in the room, and just tell me what I need to do?
I had a couple ideas, just thinking out loud, things I was thinking on the last couple of days about it, but. No, and it's good, and they listen. They do a great job of listening and understanding, and so I appreciate them for explaining to me, and then kind of listening to my little thoughts. So
momentum doesn't necessarily have to matter going into these playoffs. Certainly, there've been guys in the past who have not performed as well and get pretty deep in the playoffs. So, what gives you hope that things can change or what has happened over a 26-week period to the next 3 weeks, or even moving forward?
Yeah. I feel like we haven't had quite the speed that we've wanted to second half of the year. It's a great job in Charlotte. But, it's just trying to find that little bit. I feel like our box is so small to kind of hit to compete for these wins. We happen to hit it at Charlotte. But it's been hard to try to find that little box again, so it's not from lack of effort. Everyone has been working their butts off to try to figure out what we need to do. So it's just about putting the pieces together. And hopefully we do. I've been proud of the executions part of our team all year. It's just trying to find that little bit more speed in our cars. And so just try to go do our best to perform the best that we can and have no mistakes. That's like the biggest thing, be mistake-free. You see it all the time. So try to maximize our potential is the best thing we can do and see what happens.
14's the same, but how frustrating is it that another forward group is, with that small box is win here lately on a regular basis?
Yeah.
How does that add to the frustration? Or how do you not let it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, when you see that, you're like, man, well, they figured it out. Why can't we figure it out too, So, I mean, they've done a great job. RFK, front row, they've done a great job of finding what they need to find and improving their performance and getting really competitive. And, you got to give them props for it. So, but it shows us that it is out there. We just have to find it. And I have all the faith in the world that hopefully we can find it, and hopefully we find it quick.
You've gotten into the round of 8 the last couple of years. Do you feel like you're any closer to breaking through to that next level to get to the championship 4, where you had a chance to really battle with Joey for that win back in last November?
Yeah, hope so. I thought in 21 and last year we had a great shot to make it to Phoenix, and just had a couple things go wrong. I took us out of it last year at Vegas and Homestead, and that definitely stung. But just try to learn from mistakes, and just if you get to the round 8, just try to focus on the big picture. I think what led me to wrecking and having a mistake at Vegas last year, I got too focused on Vegas of that race and trying to win that race and lock in. I didn't focus on the big picture of, hey, you don't have to necessarily win. Don't overdrive to try to win. You've had a great day. It's the first race of the round 8. Let's just have a good day and not over push. And I just lost track of that and screwed up. So you try to learn from that stuff, and hopefully you find yourself in the same position to where you can apply what you learned and do better.
Last thing on Daytona, the front end obviously was changed after what they learned from the Priest and Talladega wreck. Were you pleased with how the car in that sense performed at Daytona?
I'm happy the update was in. I think that definitely helped. Looking at the car after the race in the garage, it crushed in all those places that they had, those gussets and holes and stuff like that. So, yeah, fortunate it was in. It would have been a lot worse if they weren't.
In the moment, you commented, the wreck started from a push that probably shouldn't have been there, or it was in the corner. Do you get specific with the drivers who make those pushes? Like, do you call them out, call them up personally, or do you talk to them about it?
Oh, I talked to him about it. I talked to the 20 after the race about it, and he had a different opinion on it. So you're always going to have that, I guess.
As we go into this 16-driver field, these 10 weeks, it seems like it's harder now than ever to overlook anyone. I think people can point to the 34, the 47, and the 23 with their inexperience and label them as underdogs, but each of them are having career years themselves. How tight is this field, and how important is it to pay attention to A, what everyone else is doing, B, what the 12 team itself is doing to just accomplish your goals?
Yeah, I don't think you can label anyone as an underdog. You never know who's going to peak, and you never know who's going to perform really well at the right time. So. I don't look at anybody as having an advantage or disadvantage. You never know how people are going to approach this. You never know how people are going to rise to the pressure and really perform and put together, really good weeks. So, I just try to focus on my deal, right? I mean, you constantly observe what other teams are doing, right? Especially if you're racing for them on points, kind of getting down to the end of, the rounds and stuff like that. You focus on that, but I don't think you can get drenched in it, right? You're just trying to go do the best that you guys can and figure out either how to win, run well, and you hope that other stuff kind of works itself out.
I think you touched on this in terms of what you learned from Vegas, and just like if you finish that race, you put yourself in a decent spot, right? What have you learned over these last couple of years of playoff experience that you feel like has set you up for a successful 10 weeks this year?
Yeah, it's kind of goes back to that same thing I said, is just trying to focus on the bigger picture and not get so. It's important to focus on one race at a time, but if you get so intertwined in that one race, you can lose sight of the main goal. So I think just trying to approach it differently that way would definitely be better, and be beneficial. So like I said, you hope you get that opportunity to learn from the previous years and what you did wrong and try to improve them.
And I know you touched on the soreness earlier. How are you feeling right now?
Good. Yeah, happy to be here.
Is it fun when the playoffs start, or is there that feeling like, shit's different now? Stuff's different now?
I mean, it's different. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, the pressure's there, and the pressure to perform is high. And the pressure to have no mistakes is high, right? I mean, it's, mistakes now, it's cost you your season, so that intensity ramps up. If you have a mistake and you mess up, speed on pit road, wreck in the regular season, you're already locked in the playoffs. Like, it's one of those things. When we go next week, here, you mess up once, you're drastically hurting your chances to win the championship. So that is a lot higher, and everyone feels pressure, right? I mean, if someone tells you they don't feel pressure, they're lying to you. It's just how everyone reacts to pressure, right? Okay, how do you rise to it, or if it gets to you? So it's just how everyone kind of faces that stuff. So yeah, definitely ramps up, especially internally, with everybody knowing what's at stake. Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Any tracks specifically
All 10 of them.
Come on, such a cop-out answer.
The first race of every round. If I can win the first race of every round, that's like the ideal playoffs right there. Yeah.